Hello again, welcome to the GF channel. Now I'll be brief this time. The mod has been already done. I'm just gonna explain how I did it, with what tools. So let's get started. Now we talk about fog light, rear fog light, and as you can see, this one has a reflector inside and a hole at the back. And that's where you're actually on. It sits on the left. In Europe and in other countries which are on the left side, driving on the left side, they actually have it on the right. And the other one doesn't have a reflector, but still I made a hole here so I can fit a bulb. When you use an LED, it's so powerful that you do not actually see the difference between a reflector or no reflector. It works beautifully even without reflector, just because it's LED. Okay, first for the electrical part, the plugs. I used the plug from Mazda 6. This one is from Mazda 6 plug. So electrically it is exactly the same. Mechanically also fits perfectly. It's absolutely the same as the 626 one. Of course, you need to get it with the plug here and a bit of cable if you want to connect it properly. That's what I did. Now about the hole. That's the end result. That's the original. That's the cut one. Of course, it's not perfect, but it does the job well enough. One thing I should mention actually is when you cut it, it's thicker. This plastic here is thicker than this plastic, and this means when you actually fit it, and it gets inside like that, and it's inside, you cannot turn it. You just cannot turn it here because it's too thick. Even when you do the proper bumps. Let me just find it. How does it fit? No. That should be it. Yes. Yes. As you can see, I can turn. This turning, I did it even though it was thicker. So now I'll explain how. Now it's not perfect. You can't do it if you're with one hand, of course. So initially I used these two, but you can use a knife. Of course, you have to make a cross, find the center, and then I used this tool. I bought it a long time ago, even before AliExpress was born, from Dio Extreme. It's from 1 to 14 millimeter holes it does. You just plug it, you start turning, and it's perfect for plastic and some soft metals. That's how I started it. You could do it with a knife, no problem. But then I used this one. I forgot how it's called, but it has sizes on it, so it's extremely useful in such cases, because I fit it here and I check the size, at which size it actually I have to stop doing grinding. Light is not good. Let me try this side. Yes, so it's about 22. That's millimeters. So I started, and I did it by hand, by the way. It's not so hard, the plastic, and by hand it's much more precise than if I use a power tool. So I made this, then I use a file to make those. That's easy. And then at that point I realized when I plugged that in that I cannot turn it because it's thicker. And for this I actually use this grinding tool. You just stick in the disc and start turning until you make it thinner, and that's how I actually made that thinner, and it fits and closes perfectly. In order to get these off of the car, you need to unbolt, of course, the 4 nuts here, but you also need to remove this plastic, because this angle actually gets on top of this one here, and even if you remove the 4 from here nuts, you're not gonna be able to pull this. You have here overlapping angles, so you have to remove this one, and this one is being removed by 2 bolts here, and there are 2 screws here and here from the back. For all of this, you do not need to remove the cover at the back, the plastic cover, but in order to make the cables properly routed between the two, it's a good idea to remove it, so you can use cable ties to tighten it and not to wobble in your trunk. And that's it. That's how you actually make 2 fog lights for the 626 GF. I hope you like it. Stay tuned for more.